This week we're trying out BuiltRight Industries dash mount kit. I'm going to give you guys a couple options on how to use this kit so that you can have multiple accessories on your truck, from your phones, iPads, whatever. Stay tuned. Hey guys, how do we keep it dirty off-road again? This week we're going to be playing with how to add accessories to the truck for maps, right? So whether it's an iPhone or an iPad, and we're going to use the BuiltRight Industries as our base. Now, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. We try to release videos weeklies as we go explore out in the desert here in California, and as we work on our Raptor and some of our other cars here too. So please subscribe, help us out, help us grow this channel. This video is brought to you guys by BuiltRight Industries. They sent me their dash mount kit to try out on the truck and to look at a couple options. Now, if I'm honest, I would have bought this thing eventually with my own money, so it's really great that these guys sent it over to us. We're going to try it out, show you how to mount it, give you guys a couple options too, how to reinforce it, and how we're going to use it with a couple of accessories that we have here, as well as some examples from some other Instagram friends of ours that have been using this dash mount kit. First, I'm going to do a quick unboxing with you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and take the trim out and get it installed. So you get the base. Turn it down a little bit. Your typical instructions on how to do it. The only unfortunate part, it's all written instructions, there's no pictures, which kind of does suck a little bit. You get a diagram of the base to help you with the drilling, because we are going to have to drill it. And you get all your hardware. Now, if you're worried about this not lining up correctly, go ahead and put it on the paper and just find out how accurate this drawing is. So you guys can see, it's actually pretty close. It's close enough to get you guys there and drilling and all that, so you just got to make sure it's nice and tight. Now, before we get too deep into it, I kind of wanted to mock up and show you guys kind of what I'm trying to go for with the setup. Now, I think this base is really awesome for what it is. Very simple design, tons and tons of options to give you mounting capabilities for just about anything. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to use this base with the Mob Armor iPad mount. And the idea being is, I like a clean look. I don't want people to have an excuse to break into my truck. So I want something that can come off, so we went with the Mob Armor magnetic mount. And the goal is basically do that. See how it looks with the iPad. And this is kind of the setup that we're going for. And because it's a magnetic mount, I'm hoping that it's solid enough in there, but also that it gives you the option to kind of turn it and get the angles that I want from it, or if I needed to, place it somewhere else. Now, this is a fairly strong magnet, so we got to play with it and see how it's going to work best. But I think it's going to work. To get started, you're going to need some pry tools, plastic pry tools, and a 7mm socket to get it out. See, gotta get those 4 tabs off. Best way to do it is from the sides. And now there's 2 bolts here. Okay, now we need to pop this off. The best thing to do here is to pick up the back that's already loose, so you can start picking up the front. Okay. Once you got this off, we got to disconnect the speaker. Simple tab. There we go. We got our part. Now we're going to go modify it. Okay, now we're going to take our template that they gave us and cut it so it makes it a little bit easier for us to do the install. So we're going to go ahead and cut right along the line, right there. Do the same thing to the other side. Now you do have a couple options on how you're gonna lay it in here. You could leave a little bit of spacing, which in some situations I would recommend a little bit of spacing, because as you're going along, this is gonna move and this is gonna possibly start rubbing with the plastic over here, and that can make some noise. Okay, so keep that in mind. For our install, I'm gonna put it as close as I can because I need that extra support, because that iPad mount's very heavy. So I'm gonna put it as close as I can, and I'm actually gonna use some felt tape right here to deaden any noise and any impact. Try to get it as centered as you can so it just looks nicer. If you don't get it centered, it doesn't matter. Now, before we drill, lay it back down, make sure the holes line up, and then pretty close. And now we can get started on drilling. It's a good idea to get a block of wood under this when you're drilling so you don't have any issues, okay? We're going to drill the front holes first. Now we got our 2 front holes in. Gonna put the base in. Gonna put 2 of our bolts in. Just hold it in place to drill the last 2 bolts. There you go. Alright, so the kit comes with these bolts and these tiny washers to do it. Now, for me, I'd be worried on these tiny little areas holding all the weight that I'm going to be putting on there. The iPad mount's kind of heavy, so I want to do a little bit of extra reinforcement. But if you're doing light stuff like iPhones and small garment systems, you don't have to do what we're going to do next, right? If you wanted to, you can just go ahead and put it on right now, go ahead and tighten it up, and you're good. And that should be more than strong enough. If you are going to do a little bit heavier mount like we are with the Mob Armor mount, a little bit of extra reinforcement will go a long way, because if you look, this plastic isn't that thick, right? And as you're going down the trails, we could easily damage this and break this if we don't add some extra reinforcement. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to get a plate, put it underneath to really hold all that extra weight so that this plastic piece doesn't break on us. Now, because the magnetic base on the iPad mount is a little bit larger, we know it's going to cause some problems with rubbing and tapping. So we're going to add a little bit of extra felt tape here, both on the front and on the top, to kind of protect the plastic a little bit better and reduce the amount of rattles that we're going to get. Alright, so as you guys can see, I added cross bracing in the opposite direction than the actual bracket is. And the idea is we have both the bracing on the bracket side that's up and down, and then the bracing on the underside that's left to right. And I'm hoping this adds a little bit of extra rigidity that this thing's going to need so that it can hold the extra weight. Let's go install it. Gonna hook this back up. Concern right there is that it still does move a little bit up. That's okay. Okay, where's my iPad mount? Comes to adjusting the iPad mount, you need to make sure that this tab holds that corner and then that this tab holds it down, right? We can't get much extra space out of the bottom because we wanted to sit a little bit above this with one extra sway. So I adjusted that the most that we can, and then what I've done is just kind of put this bracket down as far as it'll go, right, so that it catches both corners. Once that's in, then I go ahead and tighten this other side, tighten all three of them. They have nice little thumb screws in the back. And let's see what this looks like. Before. I think it's gonna work, guys. Yep, I think it's gonna work. All right, so overall, I'm really happy with the way it came out. So far, it looks like it's gonna be pretty solid. It is a magnetic mount, so it's gonna have some movement. But what I like about this, it gives me flexibility. If I find that it's in my way, I just take it out. I can put it closer to me. I can angle it to my son. It gives me quite a bit of options on the trails, and it's all within hand's reach. And I can power it with my own USB cables. And to me, you know, you gotta have maps. You gotta have a plan when you're going off-road. I need to have the maps within line of sight. I don't like having it off to the side over here. Even this is a little too low. So this right here, I can get a quick glance, and we're gonna go try it out here in a little bit. Now, as you guys can see here, when we first tried this out, on the first bump, it actually shook quite a bit. And the reason for that is because we didn't have the magnet completely on the BuiltRight base. So we were getting quite a bit of movement. Once we moved the magnet and actually lowered the iPad a little bit so that it was touching on some of the plastic, we got far less movement. Some movement, not too bad though. But I bet you we can get rid of that side-to-side movement if we put the mount lower. Yeah, see, once that bottom piece touches, we're better off. Now, as we were going along further, the actual arms that held the iPad in place became loose. And I think this was because I didn't properly tighten on the thumb screw. So you'll see me here actually take it off because it started going a little loose as we started hitting rougher terrain. So I went ahead and re-tightened everything up, tightened all the thumb screws, and once we did that and did a proper tightening, it stopped moving and it stopped going loose. So we're gonna have to do some further testing on that on the trail, see if it stays on there well and see how it holds up. What do you think? That looks so much better. It's at a better angle for me too. So overall, I'm happy with the way this turned out. I like the idea of being able to take my iPad off when I need to, so that magnetic mount's really important to me. I don't want something sticking there that's gonna get somebody to want to steal my iPad or want to break into my truck because they think there's an iPad or something else in here of value, right? So being able to take it off is important to me. And, you know, properly set up with tightening the arms in the back and then propping it up correctly, it does actually hold pretty well. So I have to play with it a little bit. We're going to do some more trail testing with it over the next couple of weeks, see how it does. But I think this is a pretty good solution that's going to work. Now, in the description below, we'll put links to the BuiltRight Industries base, the dash mount kit. It's a really affordable kit, highly recommended for any Raptor owner. And then I also put a link down in there from our Amazon's page of the actual iPad mount. The iPad mount's a little bit costly. It's about 120 bucks, and I'll confirm that when I take a look at my Amazon later. But again, it goes towards that flexibility of being able to take it on and off. And they do give you multiple options. There is a version of this mount that you can screw on, and that might be a better option too for somebody that wants to use it with the BuiltRight mount. So you can actually screw it onto the base of the BuiltRight and have a little bit more solid solution. There are other solutions too. If you guys follow You See Me Fly on Instagram, he came up with the really cool solution that uses the BuiltRight base, but also a suction cup on the window, so you have two arms actually holding the iPad in place, and is extremely solid. Why don't I just let him tell you guys about it?
Hey guys, it's You See Me Fly Raptor, showing off my BuiltRight center console mount with RAM mounts. And so you can see from right here inside of the driver's seat, I have the iPhone mount. Pull it together, set your iPhone in there, and it's good to go, nice and rigid. And then same thing for the iPad mount. The only thing I did is because it has a lot of extra weight, one arm, even using the size C balls, wasn't enough to hold it completely stable when off-roading. So what I did is Ram came out with a new iPad mount that has multiple mounting locations on the back side of it. So I put 2 balls and then 2 arms. One goes down to the BuiltRight mount, and then the second one comes up and goes to a windshield mount. And this thing is completely rigid. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't bounce around. Works perfect for all the off-road running we do here at Arizona Raptor runs, and have no complaints. And then when you need to take it down, all you have to do is just undo this lever, flip that, and peel that off, and it comes right off.
Alright guys, as you can see, the BuiltRight dash kit basically gives you a solid flexible base that you can really put as many accessories as you want, right? You can do like we did and do more of a magnetic setup, or you can do like you see me fly did and doing RAM mounts. You know, really the sky's the limit on what your imagination can come up with. Now if you want to build You See Me Fly Raptor setup, he was nice enough to give us the full list of what he used, all the components from RAM mounts to build this solution. So big thank you to August, who's You See Me Fly Raptor on Instagram. If you want to get this same mount and build it, we're going to put a link to all these parts in the description below so you guys can order it yourself and build it yourself. Alright guys, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If you guys have any other solutions that you want us to try, let us know. We're definitely open to trying more things out with this base. And you know, if we did something wrong or you guys see something that we got to fix, let us know. All right. Otherwise than that, guys, we'll see you guys on the next one.